Hey, Bears fans, we're about to dive into a Bears mailbag, and with the NFL draft tonight, a lot of draft questions, a lot of analysis in this video, so stay tuned for that. And speaking of the draft, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel because Bears may not make a pick tonight, but we'll have some coverage. Plus, we will break down every single Bears draft pick that they do make over the next 3 days. You're not going to want to miss it. Plus, plan is to go live on Friday as well during round 2. YouTube.com/Bears Now. It's free. Subscribe. Join us during the NFL Draft. Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. It is mailbag time, so we're going to answer as many questions as we possibly can to get you guys ready for the NFL Draft. So load them up, and let's get going. Dakota with a super chat. What's your pre-draft prediction next year? Oh, man. I'd love to get Jackson Smith-Njigba, the Ohio State receiver. I think he's going to be a superstar in the league. I think he could be better than Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. Now, if you're getting Smith-Njigba, that probably means the Bears were terrible this year. But, maybe that sets you up for a really strong 2023. I'm intrigued with him as well. I'll be honest, I haven't done a deep dive into next year because I'm focused on this year, but that is a name to monitor for 2023. Christian with the $5 super chat. Sistinas, is that how you pronounce it? The T silence, I'm guessing? Sistinas. Let me know if I'm doing that right. Thoughts on giving up a 2023 second-round pick for a third and fourth this year, or whatever the value is? We have a ton of needs, O-line, wide receiver, safety, and defensive back. Probably would not do that, only because I don't want to give up future premium picks just to have more picks this year. Like, this year's important, but stop sacrificing the future for right now every single year. Ryan Pace got into a bad habit of doing that. You have to recognize when it makes sense to do that. Next year, it could make more sense to trade 2024 picks to get more in 2023 because that's when you can strike and try to really make big moves. I don't think that's right now. I think you can find other ways to get more picks without trading, a second-round pick next year. Vibing with the 10-piece, appreciate that. They kind of remind me of a young Seattle Seahawks team that had a second-year quarterback by the name of Russell Wilson, us with Justin Fields. They took the scraps and became a force to be reckoned with. Look, I appreciate the comparison. I think the difference is while this Bears defense still has some good pieces, they don't have the Legion of Boom. I mean, they're not that good. But I think this defense could still be good. And if Fields takes a big jump this year, yeah, this could be a sneaky good team still. I think that is possible. I think it's really possible in 2023, but I think it is possible this year as well. Don Burr with the $2 super chat. Chicago, he says, needs a whole team Ryan signed bums polls. Well, Donnie, you're picking in the top 3 for what? The 20th year in a row, it seems like at this point. So, hey, in all seriousness, I appreciate the super chat, and, we'll see you on the show next week as well. We got Bob Addy. Could the Bears trade into round 1 if the right player falls? You want to never say never, but I'm going to go like half a smoking Jay. Like, I don't think there's much of a chance the Bears trade up. I think it's very unlikely. Ryan Poles told us during his presser on Tuesday that he's monitoring how to trade back to get more picks. And 2, you just don't have the capital to do it, man. If you're going to trade up into round 1, you're either going to have to give up a future premium pick or both your second-round picks this year. And, you need volume. You do. I mean, the Bears still have 25-plus roster spots to fill. I mean, I think this will be a heavier UDFA class than most years, but it's not like you can sign 30 UDFAs. Like, that's just too many. So I don't think it's very likely. I don't think it's impossible, but I think it's 5 times more likely the Bears trade down than they actually trade up. Now, name a player you would trade into the first round for. Maybe Chris Olave is that player if he falls a little bit. Maybe Treylon Burks, Tyler Linderbaum, if you really think that player is a big-time game changer. I think this is a good depth draft, so I wouldn't force it, but you could talk me into a couple of guys for the right price. Jordan Smith next up here. Thoughts if the Bears leave day 2 with an offensive tackle and another 3-tech, offensive guard, or a corner, but no wide receiver? Would I be worried? No, I think you can get good receivers in the 4th and 5th round. Now, I'd like to get one in round 2 or 3, but Listen, these drafts fall different every year. You just don't know who's going to be available when you're picking. So if you have a 3 technique that is 10 spots higher than your next receiver on your big board, and when you're picking at 48 or 71, you should probably go that route and take the better player. So I do think it's a possibility that the Bears don't draft a receiver on day 2. I think it's unlikely, but I do think it's possible. Lucas praying, if the Bears nail this draft, what's their record? Well, what's nail this draft? I mean, last year we thought Ryan Pace had a hell of a draft. And look, I think Fields is they got good value there, only having to give up one future first. I think Fields has a chance to be the real deal. I still like the Jenkins pick, but Jenkins barely played last year. Remember, we loved the Daz Newsome pick. He didn't play last year. Now, maybe that's more the coaching staff, but let's say the Bears make 6 picks. They get 3 starters and maybe 1 more contributor. I would say that's nailing the draft. That'd be pretty damn good. I don't know. If Fields takes the next step, maybe it's a 500 team. Maybe they're scrapping for a wild card spot. I think it's possible. But we won't know how this draft actually went until probably a couple years from now. Graham Miller with the $2 super chat. Shenault for Foles and a 5th. I like it. 5th round pick and Foles for Shenault. Sure. If the Jags would take that, I'd take it. Jacksonville could use a backup quarterback. Doug Peterson knows Nick Foles. He could help Trevor Lawrence, and he's insurance as well, knows the offense. I mean, I'd do that in a heartbeat. And the NFL Draft is going to be live on Chat Sports for all 7 rounds, Thursday, April 28th through Saturday as well. Rounds 1 on Thursday, 2 and 3 on Friday, 4 through 7 on Saturday. Join us. You'll see me for a lot of our live coverage. Tom Downey, the rest of the Chat Sports team has you covered as well. The link's right there, so go to that link, subscribe, mark your calendars, because it's going to be a lot of fun. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. All 7 rounds of this NFL Draft. Sangray Kim, there's a rumor that I'm a Packers fan. I'm a diehard Bears fan who effing hates the Cheeseheads. I just think we picked a wrong QB. Well, I didn't start that rumor, Sangray Kim. I don't know who did, but hey, we all know you don't like Justin Fields, and hey, that's your opinion. You're allowed to have it. Time will tell on that front. But hey, how about in honor of Sangray Kim making it clear he's not a Packers fan? Can we get the FGBs going in the chat? Come on. I think we can all rally behind that. Nicholas, next up here, would you take Pickens or Tyler Smith at 39? Oh, Pickens. I don't hate Tyler Smith, but he needs a lot of technique work. 39 needs to be a plug-and-play starter. I don't know if Smith for sure starts as a rookie. Hopefully he does, but I think Pickens, assuming his head's on straight, he's your number 2 receiver, and then Pringle plays the slot. I think that that would be my thinking there on that front. RJ, are you interested in Tyquan Thornton? Sure. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't take him before the 4th round, but 5th round, you got 2 picks. You use one of them on Thornton if he's on the board. Yeah, I mean, the guy ran a 4.28. Day 3, you get a sub 4.3 guy. Absolutely interested. Jake Snake, who's a non-wide receiver or offensive lineman, you would draft at 39. This is a good question because I think we're all, me included to a certain extent, fixated on receiver, offensive line. Those 2 biggest needs. Well, corner's a need, defensive tackle still a need, safety's a need. The Bears need guys everywhere. Let's not get it twisted. So here's some guys I would consider at 39 if a receiver or offensive lineman isn't there and you don't want to trade down. Devontae Wyatt, I think it's possible he's there. I think he would be an awesome defensive tackle for this team. Kyler Gordon, the corner out of Washington, I like him. I think at 39 it's good value. Kyler Elam, same deal. He's been kind of all over the place in mock drafts. Gordon, Elam, and Wyatt could go round 1, but they could also fall to mid-round 2. We'll see. Lewis Cine, I think he'll go late round 1, but I've seen where he's fallen into mid-late round 2. We'll see what happens there. I would certainly consider him. Jalen Petrie out of Baylor, he's kind of a safety-nickel hybrid. These are all players I would be comfortable taking at 39 if a receiver or offensive lineman that the Bears don't have high enough on their board aren't there. I don't think it is a given that one of those 2 positions goes at 39. I think it's very possible that the Bears go defense in round 1. People will freak out, but I'm pretty confident that one of the 3 picks on day 2 will be defense, if not 2. So, again, this all depends on how the board plays out. There's a lot of chatter that 8 receivers could go in the first round. If that's the case, don't force it at 39. Like, you don't need to take your 55th best player at number 39. That's bad drafting if you're Chicago. Now, who is your dream pick at 39? Like, you can pick anybody that at least has a chance of being there. Who is it? I want to know from you guys. A dream for me would be like a Treylon Burks, where it's unlikely, but it's at least possible. Tyler Linderbaum, Kenyon Green, those are guys that, should go round 1, but, 50 players can't go in the first round, right? Like, some of these guys are going to dip. So those are a couple of names I would keep in mind, but I want to hear it from you guys. Who do you want at 39? Appreciate Ronnie with the $2 super chat. Next time, ask a question, my friend. Jacob, $10. Keep up the great work, Harrison. What's your way too early Super Bowl matchup prediction? Oh, my goodness. My pre-draft Super Bowl prediction. I'm going to go Rams in the NFC. I think they've gotten better, and I don't know if any other contending NFC team has. Even the Bucs, I would say, have gotten a little worse on paper. I'll go Rams out of the NFC, and then I'll go Bills out of the AFC. I'll go Rams and Bills is my pre-draft way too early Super Bowl matchup. AFC is going to be a bloodbath, though. There's about 10 good teams in that conference. Sangray Kim is back. How about trading Bustin Fields for Baker and a third-round pick? Wow. There's no chance. The Bears are not trading Fields, and they're not trading for Baker. So I appreciate the sentiment, but it's not going to. By the way, Sangray Kim, why would not that the Bears would never do this, but why would the Browns take Justin Fields I guess they'd take the third for Baker, but was Justin Fields going to be Deshaun Watson's backup? I guess, but it's not going to happen. Q Carrito had to switch to YouTube for this one. Cough, cough, follow Rumble. Hey, you heard the man, rumble.com/Bears now. Anyway, what do you think about us trading with the Cowgirls to get 56 and 88 for 39? I'd be okay with that. So in that case, your picks on day 2 would be 48, 56, 71, and 88. 4 top 90 picks. I like it, Q Carrito. I think that's pretty good value overall. Quinn for Defensive Player of the Year. By the way, Q Carrito gave us a $2 Rumble rant as well. He says, we have the best wide receiver coach in the game. I'm okay with boomer bust receivers talking about Tyke Tolbert. Appreciate that. Quinn says, trade 48 for 51 and Jalen Reagor. So Jalen Reagor is only worth dropping 3 spots in the second round. Yeah, I would do it. Only have to move down from 48 to 51, and you get a receiver who's been a bust, but you need receivers, and maybe a change of scenery helps him reach his potential. Larry Rosen, they need to trade next year's number 1 for Chris Olave. I'm not doing that. I don't want to trade next year's first-round pick. Poles believes in building through the draft. You don't continue to trade future firsts in doing that. You just get what you can this year, maximize the picks you have, trade back, get a couple more picks, and then you're full throttle next year and beyond. Ed Big Easy, thoughts of Larry working out with the Bears equipment. Oh, Ogunjobi. So I did a deeper dive. So there's if you guys haven't seen this, photos on Twitter and Instagram of Larry Ogunjobi that he posted working out, doing bench press and stuff, and there's like a Bears logo, or at least look-alike logo. And you're like, is he working out at the Bears facility? Did a deep dive. It's a high school. I'm not sure where. I think it's somewhere in Florida maybe that has a very similar logo. You know how the high schools go. They do these copycat logos. It's not the Bears facilities, though. So that rumor got put to rest. But that doesn't mean I'm not interested in signing him after the draft, depending on what you get on the defensive line. But, yeah, he was not. That was not Bears equipment. Appreciate you guys for submitting all of your questions. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button here on Bears Now, because we'll have you covered throughout the NFL draft. YouTube.com/Bears Now. More coverage to come just for you guys.